One.
Hello there, Gunners all around the world. You're welcome to another edition of your favorite post, your soon to be very favorite post, the Arsenal Alchemy. I remain your host, Simply Ike, and forgive me if you can see that I'm not so happy today. Obviously, because of um, the results, the Arsenal results today, where we lost. It's been two straight away losses. And it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good, and I feel something has to change. We played in the early kickoff today. Um, I'm in the US, so it's way, way much earlier. It's the 8:30 a.m. kickoff here in the United States. And I think it's about two o'clock in Europe and in Africa, you know. So the match started, and we conceded in the 12th minute. A very good cross from Anthony Gordon to Isak, and he headed home. It was a very good header, and we didn't play too well. And apart from the goal they scored, they became very defensive. They were happy to sit back, let us have the ball, and hit us on the counter. And it's so unfortunate to say that the whole 90 minutes, we were very toothless. We did not advance to them. We didn't take the game to them. Um, our wingers, our wingers were like our, you know, game plan in the game. We were hoping to use Saka and Martinelli to run down the flanks and cross the balls, but that didn't work out. Livramento, the guy that marked Martinelli was outstanding. And Bukayo Saka was doubled on, and he didn't really have a good game. The whole team was very lethargic. We struggled. We didn't do too well. It was, quite frankly, a very, very disappointing outing. At no point in the game did we have a good spell. We didn't look like we were going to come back. If anything, they looked like they were going to score another goal. You know, this time around, we have nothing to complain about. We have no excuse. The two center backs were there. Thomas Partey played on um, the right side of the fence, and Urian Timber played on the left side. We didn't look like we were going to score at no point. We didn't have any spell whatsoever. It looked like we had some kind of stage fright because of the atmosphere. So it was a disappointing game. And it's even more disappointing when you look at the fact that Manchester City lost as well to Bournemouth, and if we had won, we would have closed the gap on Manchester City. It would have been just 1 point now, but right now, it's become a mountain to climb because Liverpool, of course, they won their home game against Brighton. It wasn't an easy game, too. It wasn't an easy game. It was a close shave for them, but they got the job done. They um, they got the job done as usual in Anfield. They won, and right now the gap between us and Liverpool is 7 points. Um, I know it's just 10 games into the season, and we can't keep blaming the fact that we have injuries, you know, the fact that we have injuries. If you want to say, if you want to call yourself a big team, these are the kind of games you have to win. These are the kind of games you have to win. It's even more hurtful that last week we were in a winning position and we eventually drew to Liverpool. Now it's even more um, disappointing that we haven't won in the last three Premier League games. We haven't won the last three Premier League games, you know, and I think it's not looking good. I don't know what the coach can do to overturn this. We have another tough away game. We're going to the San Siro on Wednesday to play Inter Milan. You know, even the fixtures are not helpful. It's one tough game after the other. It's one challenge after the other, you know, and that is to tell you how the Premier League has really evolved. There's been no easy games. Even the teams at the bottom of the table are not easy. They fight because they're bottom of the table. You know, you have to fight as well. You can't just go into games and assume you are the better team. It's 11 against 11. I always say this. It's 11 against 11. Any team can beat any team. If you get it right, any team can beat any team. Any team can get a result against any team. And, I always talk about tactics. I always talk about the game plan, you know, and Newcastle got it spot on. They got it spot on. Their defense didn't put a foot wrong today. They were up to any challenge we laid on the table. They were up for everything. They neutralized every attack. Our midfield was non-existent today. Yes, it was a midfield comprising of Mikel Merino, who was, of course, a former Newcastle player. Mikel Merino, Trossard, who I think was very disappointing again, you know. Um, then we had, of course, Declan Rice, in the midfield. And, back to the Trossard, I don't know how Mikel Arteta views the games. I don't know how he watches these games. It's like he's beginning to do too much, Sometimes you just have to keep it simple. You have a natural number 10 in Ethan Wannery, though he came in the 61st minute, but at that point, we were even worse as a team when he came in. If we had brought him in, he is a natural 10. He is a natural 10. He can see a pass. I know he's younger, but he is strong enough. I've seen other 17-year-olds in other leagues, in other teams playing well. Yamin Lamal is 17 years old. You wouldn't even know, you know. So I think we lacked any form of creativity. We lacked any form of progression in the final third, and Trossard, as good a player as he's been, I can say he was the worst player today for Arsenal on the pitch. He was the worst player. He couldn't connect with the attack. He couldn't even connect with Bukayo Saka. He was supposed to be connecting with Bukayo Saka, but he was just, I don't know what to say. He was just plain poor, and I cannot see any positive to highlight in our game today. I can I did not pick out any positive action about today. It was all negative. We were sloppy. We were the second balls. We were not winning them. We were outdwelled in the midfield. It was just a hard watch. You know, but the good thing is it's still early in the season. By this time last year, I take comfort in the fact that this time last year we were not doing too well. We turned around our fortune by I think January, after the January break, when we went to Dubai. That was when we came and we were re-energized and revitalized, and we picked up all the points we picked, and eventually came second, and we're runner up to Manchester City. So there's still time. That's the good thing, to bounce back, start picking up this points, start picking up these wins. We cannot just be getting points against the big teams. We have to be getting points with the mid-table and the lower teams. So, but the good thing is, it's just 10 games out of 38. So it's still early days, and we are all hoping we can bounce back and do a number. Before I finish, I'd like to give you a roundup of all the other results that were played today. So against Southampton got a win against Everton. That's the first win. Bournemouth, of course, like I said earlier, Bournemouth, against all odds, they won the leaders. They won the Premier League leaders, Manchester City, 2 games to 1. Um, Ipswich Town and Leicester City played a 1-1 draw. Liverpool against Brighton was a 2-1 win for Liverpool. Um, Nottingham Forest was the big winners of the weekend. They won 3-0 against West Ham. West Ham is, it's not looking too good. It's not looking too good for West Ham. And Wolves versus Crystal Palace is ended a 2-2 draw, you know. But of course, the two big results are the Arsenal loss and the Manchester City loss. Hopefully, when we travel to the San Siro, we'll give a better showing, we'll give a better account of ourselves, and go ahead and win that game. So for now, I'll have to leave you, and look out for the next post, which will be for tomorrow after the big clash against between Manchester United and Chelsea. That's the big game of the weekend. And I will be here as your host to analyze that game and to give you all the necessary reports about that game. From now, it's goodbye.